So, Moon in Me and the power of understanding your emotional you. So, it's a super moon, and just like every other super moon, all it means is that actually, I shouldn't even say all it means because there's a lot that comes into you understanding what super moons actually do because they're exceptionally close to the earth. So your sun and your moon factor are very, very amplified. And what that means is that you, as a creator, and you, as your emotional self, you've got to go look at, okay, what have I created here that I am emotionally in balance with myself, right? So, this is a supermoon that is in a planetary alignment with Gemini. So it's a Gemini supermoon. And if you are part of the Moon and Me community and part of this membership or not, what I want to share with you is that every zodiac sign has an I am thread that is communicating something. And this Gemini, the thread that it's saying is I communicate. So in the overall picture here of what we're wanting to look at is this is an opportunity to look at, okay, full moon, supercharged, to help you let go of an inner communication, of a past communication, of something that is in an inner voice, outer voice, head voice, heart voice, body voice, outside voice, whatever voice is there that is ready to be let go of, that is interrupting the space.
So I'm going to stop you right there with interrupting because I just stepped out
Yeah?
and had my mic on and was communicating in the next room, telling everybody that we're filming so that they would be quiet. And while you were talking, everybody got to hear that. So
Oh my God.
there's an interruption right now in Moon Me for all of you. You're welcome.
There you go. Right. Well, so there's an inner voice that goes on. And exactly what Dana said is that could be going on while you're thinking of something, or when somebody's talking to you, what is that inner communication that's going on? So let's jump in. Moon and Me is all about raising your awareness, understanding your thoughts, understanding your feelings, why things are happening, because you've got to choose, especially at a time like this where there is such an impact to the powerful effects of where you are. We are coming to an end of a cyclical rhythmic pattern that has been created by humans, right? Which is a calendar. So does the calendar impact us? Yeah, it impacts us because we as humanity are running this man-made almanac of calendar that is still kind of run by your moon cycles, your your rhythmic patterns, right? So are we in the beginning or the end of something? And that depends where you are, because this supermoon is calling you to understand that Gemini's impact and effect is always two-sided. There's two sides to the coin. Now, where are you emotionally? Are you being pulled, okay, into the memory of the past, or are things from the past pulling you so that you are refocusing your energy to the things of the past? And let me tell you, I personally am in the crust of that right now. Okay, it is tough. You've got to go have a serious thick skin. So, and saying that, what gives you that thick skin to override that past? Okay, emotional balance, clarity of mind, faith, right? An inner balance between your wisdoms, an inner knowing of your heart. You've got to reach out and know that there is a higher aspect of you, a higher you, an aspect of yourself that knows you. And you've also got to understand there's nothing that you are going through that you can't handle. So you've got to be looking at the other side of the coin as well. And that's where this energy is so amplified right now.
Well, you said in here, this energy is stretching you to be vigilant.
Right.
To pay attention to where you are headed. Small-mindedness or beliefs that are keeping you in past patterns and habits will no longer fit and feel good any longer.
And I'll shortcut that right
Yeah,
there.
so
You know, those beliefs that can do that. I'm interrupting Dana there because I want to tell you, if you want revenge, you'll go back in your past. If you want to get back at somebody, you'll go back into your past. If you are wanting to justify any type of conflict, you're going back into your past. Okay? If you want to prove something, you're going to go back into your past.
but what
So
if they make it easy by still
they are
doing
going to
it?
make it easy.
Yeah.
They're going to make it so easy for you to default. And who's they? They could be, you know, it's different for everybody. So who's they? They could be that energy, that thought form, those interruptions, that psychic intrusion, that emotional pull, that lesson, whatever that they is for you. Okay, it's not something against you, because you've got to understand that a higher consciousness. Okay, even your worst enemy in another realm could be your God-given angel. So
So you're saying our worst enemy in another realm could be
a God-given angel,
okay, which realm? The realm we're in right now?
the realm of your spiritual contracts. Okay, because you've got to understand, Moon and Me reaches out to you and lets you know there's a divine wisdom that's here, right? And I talk a little bit more about this, more explained in Knowing You, so that we're able to keep Moon and Me very clear. Yeah, it's coming. Okay, and it's coming because people say they don't understand. Well, you don't understand because you need to evolve into that. If you go to the Moon and Me notebook, you'll get Earth is our chosen planet. We are the students here. There's no shortcuts here. We are here to evolve and grow and learn from our emotional well-being. But you have to understand, and I'm saying but in a very focused manner, because there is a calling for you to understand the power of your thoughts. There is a calling to understand that a thought form has the power to disrupt you, to distort you, and to pull you into the past, just like that. The difference is who is emotionally equipped, okay, to handle it and who is not.
But what if you're in a moment that's a good part of your past?
That's a great memory. Then you use that as like a trampoline. You use that as a bouncing off place, because like it or not, you know, we're yet to move on and to move forward, and change is happening as we're speaking.
True.
So if you keep on that memory of the past and the memory of the past and then the memory of the past and the memory of the past, that memory can only repeat itself, and then eventually you're in a loop. So it's kind of the science of life as it is. And this is why the universe is so, and I'm going to move away from the word beautiful, because it's so orchestrated with divine intelligence and orchestrated with so many parameters of levels of understanding. You're going to tap into the understanding of what is available for you to your own capacity. So this full moon, which is a super moon, you want to go look at, okay, what are super moons all about? They're amplified. If it's a full moon, what are they amplified to do? They are amplified to help you surrender. Too often people are so caught up in the conflict of letting it go. Okay? This is not a time to let it go. You actually are being, think about it, that we are amplified to surrender so that we are able to be called forward to the next season, which is kind of what's happening with the solstice coming in.
Well, you said Virgo is still rippling through the skies as being ushered to let go, to move forward.
Right, and Virgo is what? If you go look at the I am thread of Virgo, right, and you start learning these wisdoms, okay, Virgo is saying, I serve. So what are you serving? Are you serving the aspects of the memory of your past? And if you are they a positive, conscious bridge for you? You can't bridge a negative to a positive. That would need alchemy. Something has to change. For you to do that, which it can be done, which it calls forward your alchemist, right? Anytime you change a negative thought into a positive thought, there you are, you the alchemist. Absolutely. Those are, and Pluto's in the house for the next decade or so, right? So you're going to have many, many, many opportunities to do that. But Virgo is the nurturer. It's your intuitive aspect of yourself. It's listening to yourself. So it's still rippling there. Okay, so you've got to pay attention. Am I paying attention to the positive aspects of the ripple effect or the negative aspects of it? Because there's the shadow aspect, which is all linear, right? Are you over focused on something that is serving you, or are you over focused on something that is serving you? Very big difference. And that's what Gemini is all about. That's why Virgo is so powerful with Gemini, yeah. Because it's in the details now that you want to pay attention. Which side of the coin? Now, there's a coin here. Gemini is the symbolic representation of the coin with two heads, the good self or the bad self. That doesn't exist. But there is an aspect of you that thinks lower, and there is an aspect of you that has an ability to think higher. That's just on your thoughts. But what about your feelings? How many feelings do you go through right now that you're on a high and then you're on a low? Okay, I was on a high yesterday. Today, I have to overcome myself. Why? Because there are triggers that are coming at me. Okay, and in those triggers coming at me, I have to choose right now. Where am I going? Or do you have an aspect of me that grants you my attention?
So the word trigger, because it's being so used, what's another for when it's coming at you and a trigger?
Like an arrow,
That would be it.
a smack,
Because you feel it.
yeah,
Yeah.
a wave, a disruption, a pull, a push, a tremble. It's something that wakes you up or distorts you or jolts you, right? That's a trigger. It's like you have a reaction. I don't think so. I mean, you're in the middle of a conversation, all of a sudden you go, I don't think so. There's something there that triggers, jolts, pushes you, and it's there. Are you ready to surrender that emotional aspect that is blocked there? And if you don't, the time will come again for you to release it. Because anything that you're blaming, anything that you're disconnected from, anything that you are acknowledging or admitting that has hurt you or disappointed you or has created some aspect of the victim energy in you,
Well, you say
is
here,
going to jolt you.
the final let go of the change of the calendar and cyclical season as an upcoming eclipse draws you in to be inspired by actions to build momentum.
Right.
So you and Michael and I were actually saying last night that we're going into the year of the horse,
Right.
which is all about momentum. And we were going to talk about, because everybody gets, oh, I'm going to get momentum. But depending on where you are, you can either have that lower momentum,
Right.
more of that, or
Momentum doesn't have direction.
it's like what you, because you say both sides. This is great because you go there are a bounty of shifts as the light of Gemini is playing both sides of the coin.
Right.
Give yourself the space for and awareness for the good, and remind yourself of the gift of joy, of inner joy, comes from you having the ability to be you in the trust of life as it unfolds for you.
Right, that is huge. I mean, she's reading back the words that I've written. But you've got to understand, this doesn't only come from me. This is a channeled piece. And when you hear it and you allow that space for you to just receive it, okay? And if I were you, I wouldn't even receive it in my voice because that's not my voice. That information is coming from a combination of wisdoms, right? That's not a Vanda voice. Now, Vanda implements some things in there, but I'm adding the spark of energy. And the reason I continue to do Moon in Me is actually now mostly for me. I need to be on a schedule. I need to be in my own rhythm. Because if I am not, I also know, okay, who I am. And it's easy for Vanda to be on both sides of the coins because I have a knowing that is embedded in who I am, that I know that I'm an overachiever. I want to go in and achieve certain things, and I'm a warrior, and I will stand up for certain things, and not for righteousness, but for evolution and consciousness. And that in itself is your own calling. So just listening to that, you want to understand this is probably the greatest time, okay, to take that salt bath, right? And I'm talking salt that is drawing out of you, not so much sea salt. Sea salt kind of helps, absolutely helps, and supports as it neutralizes, because we need to be released, okay, from the emotional, toxic, non-stop, waves of communication that are constantly, okay, in our fields, in our bodies,
Well, you say
in
exactly what
all
you're
of it.
saying right now. You wrote it. The love you have for you and the love you communicate
Right.
with you may need an adjustment to support you through this transition.
Right. I need a ton of salt. It's
Shopwithbonda.com.
yeah, go shopping, but it's not even about going shopping. It's once you know, and that's the power of. It's not Moon in me as Vanda. It's Moon in you. It's who are you being through these lunar cycles. Who are you being? Because you're evolving. There's not one day that you're ever the same as you were before. Okay, and there's so many different components to that. Cellular structures, compounding nutrients, atoms. I mean, just the science of it in itself can prove that. But what about you as a spiritual essence? People go, oh, you can't just be all about spirituality. Yeah, you can. And you should be. And then balance it out. Because if you're missing that component, right, you're going to miss the foundation of everything. Because your body is just your body, your mind is just your mind, but your spirit and your soul is eternal. You are here with this body because your spiritual self is calling you. And this is why we are going to bring on, and this is coming soon, guys, in the next month or so, okay, we're going to be talking about knowing you so that Moon in Me is you're able to stay focused and start understanding, wait a minute, there's something here for me. And this is not about the world needing Moon in Me. This is about a few people understanding the power of Moon in Me, enriching your light, okay, expanding your consciousness so that you have the freedom to shine as bright as you really are capable of. And that's what this lunar cycle is about. Are you communicating your potential? Are you communicating your capacity? What are you communicating? And how is it being communicated through you? Okay? And if you're not cleansing, meaning if you're not taking that breath, you're not deepening your breath, if you don't understand how awesome and divine you are, and not only that, do you have the capacity to go to the depth of who you are? Because there's a price to pay to keeping it shallow. And that's one of those things that I've had to learn. Okay?
You said right here, take charge. Your efforts of consistency needs a guarding from the old. This transit of mind-body connection requires movement. Use your breath that sustains you. Solid, strong, deep breaths and release of emotional stuff that lies deep
Inside within you. So if it's deep inside within you, you can light up 1,000 sticks. It's not going to get there. Now, is it going to break up that energy in your outer field so that you don't attract more of it? Absolutely yes. Like today, I need to go burn. Why? because I'm combustive, right? The other part that I need to go do is I need to go draw out, because there's some things here that have been very, very, very probably hurtful, and not hurtful from other people, just hurtful from what I would want to see, or what I would want to hear. And that's what Moon and Me is about. It's bringing it back to you in a very rhythmic, powerful way, okay, that you are being shown that you are so much more than what you are able to realize. Because you carry these wisdoms. Your dreams are telling. Your language is sharing who and what and where you are. How many times have you caught yourself being snarky with understanding, I didn't really need to be that snarky? And how many times you've heard unkindness when you just need to be kind, right? But those are all emotional things, like it's noise. So it's a great time, okay, to, if you don't have a bath, it's a great time to take a deep breath in and give your body that bath of deep breath. But if you're just doing deep breath, you need a lot more deep breath, deep breathing to be able to release. The bath is your accelerator. The salt is your draw out ingredient that accelerates you. Otherwise, you're far much more intensely attuned to staying focused, which we're not. The phone rings, your child calls you, or you need it, or you've got a meeting, or you've got this amount of time to do this amount of work, where all of this can be reversed. If you're consistent, you're doing this amount of work every single time, which leads to this amount of work. I mean, so Moon and Me gives you that ability, right? It's like hydrating yourself. It's like feeding yourself. It's like nourishing yourself and keeping that in the loop. Just remember that this is about you. So even though you're not Gemini, it doesn't mean that you have to be a Gemini. You have Gemini somewhere in your chart.
And you say, love this time, it will never return.
Right.
So make sure you get your treasured wisdom to awaken you into a joy that may have been lost.
Oh my God, that's just for me. I nearly lost myself today in my emotional self. You have to have an emotional self. You have to understand who and what is inside of you and what it's saying. You know, having a tantrum is just as important as not having a tantrum. But what are you having a tantrum about? You're having a tantrum about something of the past, or you're having a tantrum because you know you need to go and do something? Very big different tantrums, right? And the truth is, a tantrum is a tantrum. So you also have to have discernment there. Okay, because now I'm giving you a little bit of advanced information to unhearing ears, or understanding hearts, or unclear minds, you know, and that's where it can get seriously distorted. So we're now separating basic Moon and Me. Let's get you going. Let's strengthen this rhythmic light so that you understand your own ray of lights, that you are millions of rays of light, that you have the power to embark on the journey that is directed by your soul, your choosing, not the circumstances of social events that are disrupting you, okay, to keep you in the loop. To keep you in the loop. That's the game. You come here because that's the game. This time I will remember. And we go day in, day out, forgetting who we are. So it's a call out to you. There are two sides of the coin. Choose wisely, stay strong, and be breathing in and embrace wherever you are, and then make very, very, very clear decisions from a higher aspect of yourself to make that all that you are congruent with who you want to be.